En otro informe, Aruba Hotel and Timeshare Association, da una entidad na kuno sa FAIA un diálogo social. Mientras tanto, awar nota mira necesidad pa acudir na o reunião ng aki, sino ta cumpli ko palabrasyon ng hasi. AHATA ta referi na hecho ko negosasyon ng paumiho praise di awi kuryente pa nos hotel ng nos kolega yante la pasa conversar ka direktor di AHATA, kuta compartir con nos su mal contento. Na 2012, durante um diálogo social, apresentar a proposição para reduzir custo de utilidade para o hotel. É tempo que estava dando espaço para por aqui. A ideia estava por meio de dispar água traduzida em dispar corrente. Pero não há mera progresso da ideia aqui.
The government wanted to make some differential savings that consumers in residences would get a bigger discount than businesses such as the hotels, large volume producers. And whilst we weren't too happy about that, because there was this difference between what the consumer was being charged and what the hotels were being charged, we were promised that the way in which the large consumers, not just hotels, but any large volumes user of electricity, such as the airport and the port and so on and so forth, instead of being charged on what they call installed capacity, which is how much power generating capability or distributing capability Elmar has installed, they would be charged on the actual usage of electricity. And in some instances, the difference is 50%, in the sense that a hotel will only use 50% of its installed capacity in any particular month. And of course, the savings are significant. And it was purely just an administrative procedure. Instead of saying it's on installed capacity, we'll now charge you on actual usage.
Hecho ta que sa kitaba na aya 2012.
2013 goes by, nothing. 2014 goes by, nothing. And so we keep explaining to the Prime Minister that, look, this was an agreement that we entered into in good faith, that we would basically say to the government, yes, we support the idea of reduction in water, and yes, they reduced the price of water for the hotels by 26%, the same as everybody. But electricity, which is our biggest cost of the two, wasn't reduced in the same proportion. So we said, look, after all of this time, how can you expect us to continue participating in a social dialogue process when we've agreed to something and it doesn't get implemented?
AHATA no está desapuntada directamente com o governo, pero mais bien que companhia de utilidade que te dia de awe no a cumpre com palabração.
And to be fair to the Prime Minister, he's been trying to get Elmar to execute against this. Elmar keeps saying it's not their responsibility, that because of the regulations, that they can only charge on installed capacity and somebody else has to change it, and so on and so forth. But after all this time, we're just getting really quite upset that nothing is happening.
Según ejecutivo, ta explica a cobrança ta basar riba capacidad y no riba uso actual. Y esa aquí ta considerablemente menos.
The point being is that if you're encouraging businesses, whether they're hotels or any other business, to become more energy efficient, cost savings, all of the things that we're trying to do and encourage to become more efficient, why would you penalize them by saying there's no savings in terms of the way in which you're charged through making these efficiencies? And that's what we really don't understand. It seems to be counterintuitive that you're saying on the one hand, save electricity, become more efficient, introduce all these energy saving procedures. We're going to be the shining example of sustainability. And at the same time, there's no incentive when it comes to actually paying the bill. So that's really what we're complaining about.
Hecho taco y gasto aquí tiene su efecto negativo para nuestra economía.
At a time when we have so many competitors that are finding ways to reduce their cost of doing business, to keep this component of our costs at this level makes us less competitive. And it's a significant cost. I mean, if you look at, say, what happens, say in the United States, for example, a resort would pay maybe 3 to 4% of its gross revenues for electricity. Well, here it can be as much as 10%. And that's a significant amount of money. And a lot of that comes from the money that you would generate to reinvest in your property, whether it be reinvesting in the staff, whether it's reinvesting in the physical facilities. The whole point about generating surplus each year is to reinvest it and to continue to improve. So it's basically saying, well, we're not going to create an environment where you've got that money to reinvest and upgrade the quality. That's our concern.
Abolbe conversar com o governo e ambos teriam mesmo linha de pensamento e reto que tu baita para a companhia de utilidade toma e passo na direção para ajudar o hotel a reduzir o gasto de utilidade.